Hello, this is Mary Collardita, and we're looking at how to know God's will and what is His will. So we're going to look at today Matthew chapter 11, verses 25 through 30, and I'm going to read that first. At that time, Jesus said in reply, I give praise to you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, for although you have hidden these things from the wise and the learned, you have revealed them to the childlike. Yes, Father, such has been your gracious will. All things have been handed over to me by my Father. No one knows the Son except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son, and anyone to whom the Son reveals him to. Come unto me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden light. Okay, His will revealed through these verses. One of the things is that we know that the Father is the Lord of heaven and earth, and He handed all things over to Jesus. So, and it says right in verse 26, for yes, Father, such has been your gracious will. Well, what is His will that is full of grace? That He would hide things of heaven from the wise and the learned, and He would reveal things of heaven to the childlike. So I'm going to go also onto the next verses here. When He says, all things have been handed over to me by my Father. No one knows the Son, Jesus, except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son, and him to whom the Son will reveal the Father to. When we talk about learning or understanding the things of heaven, the kingdom of heaven, I think it's knowing Jesus, the Son, and knowing the Father. And when we know them, we know His kingdom. It's His gracious will to reveal Himself to the childlike. Another interpretations that says, and has revealed them unto babes. So not babies, but those who are childlike, those who want to learn, those who are hungry for righteousness. Not those. He doesn't reveal Himself to the learned, to those who study and they learn scripture, they learn about God, they learn about Jesus, but they don't know Him. It's all about knowing Him. And Jesus says, this is who I am. I have an easy yoke. I have a burden that's light that I will put upon you. And He says, I love this. He says, Take my yoke upon you. Learn from me. Learn of me. For I am meek and humble of heart. You would think about that. How could the Son of God be meek and humble, willing to be lowly, willing to be teachable by God, willing to be selfless, not full of pride and power and might, but meek and lowly. He says, if you want to know me, yoke yourself with me. I'll teach you about me. I'll teach you how to be meek and humble. He says, my burden is easy, or my yoke is easy, my burden is light. What he calls us to do and to carry will be easy and light. And he says, take my yoke upon you. And you think about it. So generally we think of, yokes being put on, yokes that have burdens attached with them, put on oxen and donkeys and beasts of burden. That's what they even call them. But he says, it's my yoke. Let me put it on you. He says, take my yoke upon you. Put your head under. Put it under. And know that he is yoked with you, or he's the master leading you. It's all one and the same thing. And it will be easy and light. We cast our cares upon him, for he cares for us. If you're feeling like your yoke is hard and your burden is heavy, cast those upon the Lord. He says, he recognizes it. He says, come to me, you who are labor and are heavy burdened, come to me. Let him bear those with you, and he will make it light. He will give you the way to endure it, and it will be light. Sometimes the things that make us heavy they're not from, I'm going to put that a different way. We have burdens and they make us feel heavy, but so that's when we are walking in the flesh and we're seeing things from our own fleshly perspective and not from the perspective of Christ and his sharing those burdens with us. We have to be humble ourselves under the mighty hand of the Lord, and he will raise you up, he will lift you up. So whenever you feel like you're laboring on our heavy burden and are burdened down, say, okay, Lord, you said that you would, if I take your yoke upon me, you would make these burdens and labor light. So I'm yoking myself with you, and you're carrying my burdens. That's being humble. That's being meek. It's a wonderful promise. It's his will. It's his word to us. Walk as a child of Abraham and walk in faith. Believe that God is a God of his word, and And this is how we get to know him. He knows us. We want him to reveal himself to us. Thanks for watching. Pray about these things every time. Pray. Seek the Lord. Read this to him. Say, this is your will. And live in it.